Hi guys, welcome back to the channel with me, the Scottish Scrapper, and you're watching Scrapping Scotland. Today I wanted to do a video around copper, and specifically extracting that copper from an armature. What is an armature, you may ask? Well, an armature is this. This is an armature. Okay, and these go in the centre of a motor. So essentially you have a big steel piece that goes around the outside of this, and that has copper windings on it, and this slots in the middle and spins. Yeah, and this is called an armature. Okay, so what are the parts of an armature? So let's kind of go through it a little bit. So this is what you call the armature stack. Okay, the whole kind of piece round the edge. Commonly in between there is little either plastic or cardboard pieces that protect the copper winding. The piece in between here is called the armature slot, and the actual piece itself here, the metal piece, it is got little ridges, does have little ridges on it, and that is called the tooth, so the armature tooth. The main piece, obviously the metal rod that runs through the middle, that is the shaft, and the piece at the top here, this is called a commutator, and what that does is that reverses the current direction between the rotor and the external current. So as I say, this will sit in between. You know, sometimes you get smaller versions of these and they have magnets at either side, which is essentially the field poles, and that will spin this in between. So are these heavy? Yeah, they're very heavy. You get them in all various sizes. As you can see, this one's got a little bit of brass at the top of it as well. But they are very heavy. It's a nice big chunky steel here with a lot of nice copper wound round it. So, you know, what we want to do is we want to try and extract that copper from the armature. The commutator at the top, this is also copper. And it's on a little piece of kind of ferrite that goes round the centre of it as well. So the key thing is when you get that off, you can just bang it with a hammer, and you know, you can then start to pick the little bits off the ferrite. I make that sound easy. It can be a little bit more tricky than that, but there is nice copper to be had in here. And as I say, these come in all different sizes, so you can get the very, very small ones. And if you have a look at another video that I've done around small DC motors, you will see quite a few smaller versions of these, and they're nice and easy to get the actual copper out of them, because you know, you can actually just use a pair of pliers and you can pull that piece off, and then you can just simply unwind the copper from it. There's not a lot of kind of windings on it. There's kind of 4 or 3 separate windings that you can just basically pull one piece, let it drop, and it'll unwind itself. With these larger ones, it's a lot trickier. And it's trickier for a couple of reasons. So one is that the windings are actually really tight. You know, it's not easy just to kind of take them out. Secondly, as I say, within the slot here, there is something that protects the copper windings. So it's not as if you can just cut a piece there and then pull it through the slot. That slot is protected. So it's not as easy to do that. And thirdly, sometimes there's a little piece of either plastic, rubber or wax that protects you know, the seal here at the top side of the commutator. So it's not always that easy just to, you know, to pull that out. So what are the best methods of extracting it? For me, it's about the angle grinder. You know, just cut the top off, cut the bottom off, and actually if you cut it just, you know, along the edge here, then you can start pulling them through a little bit better. And actually, again, if you've seen me doing the video on compressors and pulling the motor out of that, you can see that actually a good way to do that and to push it through once you've cut the top piece off is just to get a screwdriver and start banging it through. Yeah, so obviously you need the right size of screwdriver. So I'm going to give this an attempt today on this one. Some are easier than others, and obviously we're cutting through a big piece of steel here as well, so we'll give it a go. We'll see what the outcome is. Hopefully we can extract it nice and easy, but what I would say is there is nice copper in here. It's nice number 2 copper, and I would certainly rather extract the copper than put this in as just a copper motor and get 12, 13, 14 pence a kilo, when actually a kilo of copper is worth 4 or 5, £5.50, whatever it may be, depending on how the copper prices are going. So we'll make a start. We will try and cut it up and see if we can extract the copper. So key things for these, actually just to give you an example as well before we start, is, as you can see, so there's a smaller one, a lot smaller, but still exactly the same, has a commutator at the top, and still has nice copper in it as well. There's a really big one, quite a heavy piece. As you can see, the commutator's got a lot more slats on it, copper slats, and yeah, much better. Obviously a bigger one, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easier to cut up and remove the copper. You can see on the bottom of this one as well, so as you see here, round the edge here, that has like it's not wax because it's really hard, unless it's kind of some sort of hardened wax, but I think it's more of a kind of rubber, hardened rubber, that was probably liquefied and then set, because it is very hard, but it looks like it's all kind of nice and neat, so I imagine it's something that's been dipped and then set, but that can make it hard to extract. Yeah, if you look at this one in relation to that, there's no rubber or anything around the edge of that one. So once we cut that off, it releases the winding. But as I say, we'll cut it right along the kind of edge here and see if we can then push through the other pieces. It may be worthwhile cutting off each of the ends, and then just having kind of that centre piece, there to bang through. But I suppose it depends on how many discs you've got, how difficult it is. I mean, it's quite thick steel. You can see there, it's quite thick steel to get through. Yeah, so it's going to take a little bit of effort from the disc to get that through. Okay, let's try, let's make a start. So, first things first, I will cut this end piece off. Now, as always, when you are working with the angle grinder, some people wear gloves with an angle grinder. I personally don't, but you do need eye protection. Yeah, last thing you need is getting shards of metal in your eyes, so definitely wear those eye protectors. Okay, I do look like I'm going skiing. Okay, it's not about how good you look, it's about functionality. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, in fact what I will do, is I'm going to get something to collect any pieces that fall below the vise. Try and make sure we've got a nice clean bucket. Okay, we'll stick that below the vise, and when pieces fall below that, catch them in our bucket. Just give a quick little sweep of the table around there as well. Make sure we've got a nice clean working area, again, so we can recover the copper dust when any of it falls. Hopefully we're not going to lose much, but again, we want to get as good recovery as possible. Let's just pull this out a little bit more. Alright, let's make a start. Okay, I do try and make a couple of cuts, because if you do just one cut all the way through, you've got a chance of breaking your blade. And talking through experience, you don't want that blade breaking and then hitting you in the hand. So just take your time, cut it as best as you possibly can. Okay, if that means making a couple of cuts, just be patient, make a couple of cuts. Okay, let's go for the second side. Okay, so let's have a look at the result. So there's the top piece off. As you can see, nice clean copper there as well. And once I cut round this piece here, that will release all that copper winding at the top. Okay, so we'll have a look at doing that in a minute. Let's look at the other piece. Okay, so there's our flat edge, and what we want to do is start knocking that through now. Okay, you can, if you like, try and take this piece off here. Might make it easier when we're taking that down. I think I'll do that. Make it as easy as possible to get that slipping off. Okay, so now we can turn this on its side. I can undo the vise, that is. Okay, nice and tight in the vise. Stick our grinder out the way to one side, and then hopefully we can start knocking this through. Okay, so I just use a screwdriver, obviously a flat edge one, and try and start knocking that through. Well, actually, I'll see if I've got a better screwdriver, a bit of a thicker edge one, because that one is quite thin. Okay, a bit of a thicker edge one there. I've also got like a little chisel, that might be a little bit better. Let's give this a bash. Okay. So I'm just going to start loosening it at the moment. Get the pieces off the top. I'm just going to work our way around. this is tight in the vise, but it does want to move. Just because of the shape of it, really. Doesn't sit that well on the vise. Okay, so just about a couple of taps round there, obviously with the chisel rather than using the screwdriver right away. As you can see, we've already loosened those windings, yeah? If you look at the top, okay, we can see it's starting to move down on the edges now. So now when I get the screwdriver in, we are hoping that it should start pushing those windings through a lot further. Again, nice and tight in the vise. I'm just going to quickly empty out any dust that I've got in the catcher bucket from cutting through the steel shaft. And then we will start working our way around here again. Start working this copper out. Okay, so now that we've loosened that up a little bit, as I say, with the chisel, it's actually going through it quite easy now, and pushing it down quite easy. Okay, so again, we'll work our way around. Not sure you can see in the video, but it is starting to loosen. It's starting to push down. And let's just do that as much as we possibly can, and then hopefully we'll just be able to wedge it out. Okay, some windings are a little bit looser than others, so 2 or 3 taps in one area, or some is just kind of one tap and it's all going. Put it all into the middle. There we go. Probably not the most exciting part to watch, but you know, a good indicator is it shows you kind of how long it takes to do this. And as I say, you know, the copper you get out of it, it is most certainly worthwhile doing. I would recommend you do it. You know, again, if you watch any of my videos, I'm all about the copper, yeah. Obviously other metals as well, but you know, I do love the copper, and that is certainly what I go for most. So I want to make the most bang for my buck, so to speak, and get all the copper that I can out of here. So as you can see now, those copper windings are nice and loose, yeah, and either we can pull them with a hand. Let's have a look. We'll try and pull a couple out. Okay, there's one, came out nice and easy. Let's try another. Again, nice and easy. Okay, and this is all butter. This is all coming out absolutely lovely. Nice and easy. Okay, with the other ones, because they're a little bit further wound in, didn't quite get it through as much. We'll use a little bit of leverage, which is fine, it's not cheating. We can use leverage. Okay. And we'll try and pull all of these copper windings through. Definitely, as I say, worth spending a little bit of time getting all that copper out. Because listen guys, that's where you're going to make the money, yeah? That's where you're going to do a little bit better, yeah? And make it all a little bit more worthwhile. Well, that was great. That was a bit of Superman copper. Completely took off as I pulled that out there. More concentrating on what I'm saying than what I'm doing. But you know what, that's fine, because we can just recover all that. Stick it on the old pile. Nearly knocked the camera over, but that's fine. You guys know by now, this is no professional camera setup. Doing this on my phone. But same results. Can still show you guys what we're doing and how to recover that copper. Okay, nearly there. The good thing with these ones is actually some of the slots seem nice and clear, so I'm actually quite easily to pull some of it actually through the slots. You can see on this bit, and then you've got this plastic piece that I can pull out now because it's all nice and loose. But that kind of is what covers the windings within the slot. So if you can get all that out, then fantastic. You should be able to get the copper out a lot easier as well. Okay, so we're getting there, we're nearly done. A few more pieces to get out. Obviously these are the pieces that are more deeply wound. Right at the bottom of the armature. Pull that through. Okay, I'm actually going to take my safety glasses off at the moment because they're starting to steam up. Out in a workshop, it's cold outside, winter's setting in, which hence why I've still got my jacket and a hoodie and everything on. This ain't no Florida, guys, this is Scotland, and it's chilly. Probably I would say at the moment probably about 8 degrees out, something like that. But actually a beautiful day today. Went and watched my son playing football, and for you American viewers, soccer. But yeah, a good day. His team won 4-0. My son is a striker and he scored 2 fantastic goals. Probably should have scored about 4 or 5, but hey, can't grumble. Scoring 2 is great, and obviously a great win for his team. So we're nearly there here. A couple of bits to clean up. Never quite cut it as close to the armatures I probably would have liked to. Would have made it a little bit easier to clean up. What I would say with these things, guys, is 99% of the time these armatures, they do have the copper wiring. Now I've actually watched a few videos from other scrappers, and obviously a shout out to all you guys making scrapping videos. I certainly learn a lot from you guys, and you know, I like to try and make some videos of myself, that, you know, not replicate what you guys are doing, but you know, just maybe showing a different way of doing it, or you know, how I do it, and obviously you get my banter at the same time. So you know, horses for courses and all that kind of stuff. Okay, we're nearly there. Nearly got all the copper off this one. From start to finish so far, what are we, since I started talking to you, we're 25 minutes in. So probably only about 20 minutes to take this one apart. Okay, last couple of stubborn pieces. No piece of copper gets left behind. It all gets extracted. Okay, doke. Now, that's a pretty good result. Okay, as you can see, got all from the bottom as well. There's like a couple of minor traces, little bits of copper there, but it's, you know, extremely minor. All unwound for the top. And let's see if I can move the camera and you can see that nice big pile of copper wire there. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so that's a lovely big piece of copper wire there. Okay, as I say, that leaves us with a top piece. Okay, and we want to get the copper off of that as well. You know, that's not getting left behind, as I say. No copper gets left behind. And we're certainly not leaving that behind. So the best way to get that off, let's have a look. Again, probably better cutting through here, having that top piece and then just pulling it off the piece of steel. So let's do that. I'm actually going to do it this way so none of the copper falls. Okay, so if I do it the other way, start grinding it, bits of copper will fall everywhere, and I don't want that. I want that to stay nice and neat. So back down with the old safety goggles, back out with the grinder, and let's cut this piece off. Starting to move a little bit in the grinder, so I will, in the vise, sorry. So I will turn it around. Again, guys, patience, yeah? Don't rush stuff, don't do stuff unsafely. Just take your time, do it right. Voila. Okay, that one's a little bit hot. This one not too bad. Okay, so as you can see, there's the top of it, surrounded by copper, and we just need to pull that copper off the steel. Yeah, steel shaft. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. And then we're left with a very hot commutator. Okay, let me just pick that up with someone else. Okay, there's the bottom of our commutator. Okay, so as you can see, the outside is copper, goes through a steel shaft, and that steel shaft is surrounded by like a ferrite metal. Okay, so we can look at now getting that off. Okay, now unfortunately I don't have the biggest vise in the world, which means that I've only got a little plate here to hit it with a hammer. Okay, so there's the first smack, and then you can see there the ferrite, okay, that's in between it. Okay, and the little slats that go around the edge, all copper. Okay, so let's get the other piece off. Boom. Okay, that's that off. One piece there. The other piece went flying. The question is, where do you go flying to? So let's move a couple of things, let's see if I can see it. There we go. Found it. Okay, let's move this bin out of the way. Okay, so now we've got that broken into a few separate parts, a few separate pieces. We can start breaking it down a little bit further. What I want to do is actually get one of these slats off to show you the copper. Yeah, I'm not going to sit and do it all, take you through that laborious piece of work, but it'd be nice to get at least one of these little slats out for you so you can see. Okay, we're nearly there with one. We'll just clean it up a little bit with my snips. Could just show you as it is, but I'm trying to get nice and clean just to show you what it's like, show you what it's all about. Not have any ferrite on it. Okay, I think that's almost pretty clean. Now, not smashing ferrite pieces, I can take my goggles back up. And there's a little piece of copper, so that's the slat. Okay, and all of that is copper. Okay. Okay, so that's the copper, as you can see. That's one of the slats that go around the commutator. Okay, so one of these. Okay. The last bit is to take this little piece of copper off the steel. You can do that just by a couple of pairs of pliers. I'm not going to chop it with my snips, but it's holding it. And then just pull that apart. Yeah, as you can see. Okay, we'll keep that nice and neat on our little pile. Okay, taking all that apart. Some of this you can actually just now fully unwind. Get it off around the top. So yeah, as I was saying, 99% of the time these are copper, but as I say, watching some other guys scrapping, you can get aluminium ones, and I can say that because I've had one. Now I've got an absolute load of these to take apart, but always test them quickly to see if they are copper windings. And usually what I do is I just do a very small grind on the copper winding, and obviously you can see right away if it's going to be copper or if it's aluminium, obviously from the colouring. So that's what I would do. I would just do a little grind on this, very, very small one, and that will show you if it's copper or if it's not. Okay, doke. So the last thing to do is clean up this. So I've got obviously my individual pieces, and then what we'll do is we will put it all on a scale and we'll see what our copper yield is. Okay, so I'll just do this quickly and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, so time to measure up and see what this all weighs. So let me just flip the camera. Boom. Okay, look. So this is our copper windings. Let's see what that weighs. Let's get all that. Get that all in there. Clean that all out. Try and get as much of it in as possible. All the little loose bits. Okay, so I think that's more or less it. That weighs 161 grams. 161. So there's a little bit of a breeze coming in here as well, so it's changing a little bit. We also cleaned up our pieces of the commutator. Okay, so we're going to see what that weighs on its own. So let me just empty this stuff out. Okay. Zero that. $27.2. Okay, so definitely worth doing it, guys. Definitely worth taking apart these armatures, taking out the copper winding, cleaning up the commutator, okay, and getting as much copper as you possibly can. With these things, what I was doing is I was trying to pick them apart. You can see there's still little tiny bits of ferrite on that, and that needs to be cleaned up. So my other method was till we try to pick them apart a little bit, give it a good smack with the hammer, and as you can see, cleans it up much better. So just stick it up a nice flat surface, nice flat bit of steel, and smack it until you get all the ferrite off it. That's the better idea. Okay, hope you enjoyed that one, guys. If you did, then you know what to do. Hit that like button. If you're not already a subscriber, then please subscribe to the channel, and you will see all the new videos as they come. Let's say for these ones, for me, it's always about the copper. I do other things about scrapping all different types of electronics, sometimes just for the fun of it. So, you know, I'm planning on doing a couple of videos of just anything really that I can get my hands on. It's electronics, to see what's inside it. Sometimes that's just interesting in itself. It's not always about what's the yield from it, but sometimes you can be really surprised on what you get inside these. You know, you can get small copper motors, and as I say, you build up those copper motors. They all build up, and you know, if you got the time and the energy to take them apart, then there is copper to be had from them as well. So as I say, I hope you enjoyed that one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you on the next Scrapping Scotland video. Bye for now.